Welcome back, Remodel. Sorry about that technical difficulty. Uh, all right, so we'll just start fresh. My name is Dave with Remodel Media, and for the last kitchens and various other home renovation projects. And in this episode, I thought I'd cover, among other things, some of the topics that are relevant for right now, including if you have any COVID or how it's affecting the remodel industry. I'll be presented with you. I've got emails from most of my vendors, most of the manufacturers that you know and love. And these folks are, a lot of them are actually reopened pretty soon, hopefully. A lot of manufacturers are shutting down. We're getting reports daily with updates from different manufacturers. Also, I wanted to kind of just dig into your minds and see what questions you might have as well. So, first talking point that I wanted to talk about here is water heater sizing, specifically when it comes to tankless water heaters. I had a customer call me up today and they were asking some questions, what was best, et cetera, et cetera. And it got me thinking, there's a lot of people probably have that question when it comes to tankless water heaters, because not all tankless water heaters are created equal. And not every tankless water heater is right for everybody either. So, for example, I came across a few really helpful links that I'll go ahead and put down below in the description, including for NORTIZ water heaters, a sizing calculator, as well as a report where they have a link that tells average ground temperature in the United States, along with spruce.com, a pretty good article I'll link to, showing people how to figure their gallon per minute ratings on these things. So most tankless water heaters that you see are probably going to give you statistics somewhere anywhere between 9 and 11 gallons per minute for the full size units, but also factored on a degree of temperature rise. In other words, if your groundwater, like in Southern California, is around 70 degrees, then that's a very different story than if you're in Maine, where your groundwater can be as low as almost freezing, 34, 35 degrees. So the groundwater does tend to be fairly consistent from, season to season, only because groundwater has a tendency to be insulated from the effects of the elements. So when you're sizing up a water heater, I'm going to take you to right now, the first link that I'll down is Bradley Corp's U.S. groundwater temperature. And so it's a very handy dandy map. And so what you'll see is that, again, the southern states, high 60s to high 70s for degree of groundwater. So you only need about a 50 degree rise when you're in, mid to southern Texas, when you're in Florida, when you're in California, southern Arizona, things like that. As you go north, temperatures, as I said, dip down to about 35 degrees. So in that case, to get an ideal temperature coming out of your water heater, an ideal temperature would be 120 degrees. And at 100 degrees for output, if you have 35 degree groundwater, well, simple mathematics, that's around a 80 to 90 degree rise. So the next link that I'll put to is the NORTIZ sizing calculator, which is going to help you find the right model. But you'll notice that when you, it's going to ask you your zip code, 92804. I'm going to use my office. And right here, it's going to ask you a couple of questions: how many showers in the home, et cetera, et cetera. And high flow showers, do you have a recirculation? There's going to be rebates in the area that you're in. Your energy company is going to give you rebates on a tankless water heater most of the time. Or it's spec sheet. But when you look at the spec sheet for your heater, the heater that they suggest, you'll notice that when you scroll down, there is this handy dandy little graph that tells you what the flow rate is at a particular gallon per minute. So in other words, let's say you know you need to achieve 10 gallons a minute, but you also know you need to achieve a 50 degree rise. Well, 10 gallons a minute at a 50 degree rise, even a water heater that's rated at 11 a minute, that might be at a 20 or a 30 degree rise. So you have to look at the specs. I have a few questions. Mr. Puja says, well, Puja, yeah, you asked me a question before about the ADU. Yeah, I have a few questions about kitchen appliances. Would it be okay to ask about? Absolutely. Ask away, please. Go ahead. What kind of questions do you have? I got the right guy, right? You're in San Francisco. You're doing the accessory dwelling unit. For panel-ready dishwashers, now I'll put a link when we're done here. I'll put a link in the description below to a video I did on dishwashers, and it covers a very broad brush. Now, is this for that unit? Is this for your house? Talk to me about the household we're putting it into, because that's going to have an effect on what I suggest. It's for the ADU unit. Okay, so you want something fairly low maintenance, probably, I'm guessing, right? Something that is very less likely to leak, even guaranteed against any leaking. That would be, and something that's fairly durable. So yeah, for a rental. So in that situation, I would probably look very heavily at what Bosch has to offer. In that case, I would look at maybe like the Bosch 300 series. The reason I would look at the Bosch 300 series and not necessarily the 5 or the 8, again, the mindset usually of most landlords, not every landlord, but most landlords, is what is the minimum. The IKEA one is $750, and I was wondering if it's too expensive or if that's the general. $750 is a decent price for a decent dishwasher. However, that being said, IKEA doesn't make dishwashers. They are not a manufacturer of dishwashers. What they do is a lot like Kenmore. They will buy someone else's dishwasher and put their name on it. Maybe a Whirlpool, maybe an LG, I don't know. I would take, if it was me building a rental property for myself or someone in my family, something like take my mother-in-law, for instance. We're doing a remodel in her house right now. And and for her, it's less about a rental, more about a flip. But it's the same kind of idea. I would take that same $750, and here's why. The Bosch has a lifetime guarantee against leakage on that stainless steel tub. The stainless steel tub is a full one-piece stainless steel all the way around. The new Bosches now have mineral. I forget what the mineral is, but they have a mineral in them that interacts with the water that generates heat. So whereas the old Bosches dry, the new ones at least dry about 60% better than the old ones. That being said, here's the key. Usually does it for most landlords. When I tell them that is it's a unit that has what they call aqua stop. And what that is there's a sensor down underneath the tub, where if by some sort of neglect or whatever, somehow this particular dishwasher happens to spring a leak, let's just say, what's going to happen is that sensor is going to sense that leak, and the water shut off. And then you're going to get an error code, and it's going to tell you to call service. Bottom line is, with a few ounces of water clean up, not an entire flood like what happened in my mother-in-law's house. So that's probably the biggest reason, especially in a property where there is a chance that it may sit unoccupied for a period of time without being monitored. I can't tell you how many folks have come to me after doing their own research, after experiencing a flood, and they say, pardon our little technical difficulties. I'm still working around technical difficulties of live streaming. Let's do this. Let us check here. Let's do this. Okay, so we do have a good. Let's do this. We do have a good. Okay, cool. All right, Pooja, you back? I'm back. Okay. So hopefully that made sense. That my recommendation to you is either the 1 or the 300 series from Bosch. In fact, give me a second. We're going to look that up online right now. Bosch. Let's say Bosch home appliances. All right, accept products, custom panel dishwashers, price ascending.